back there, and the sister in yellow. Yes, yes,
I was just wondering, when you all did the survey, why didn't you put a section for them to make it optional for personal information, and you could have a record of the people, and it could make them feel more a part of the association?
Yes, ma'am. That's an excellent question. And the reason we didn't do this is that it was, I can't remember the year, but when we had the convention in New Jersey, we had a survey. And the brother had what I'm going to call lots of personal information. And he wanted to know name, where you was from, income, and those type of things. And there's, for some people, because of the society we live in, there's a lot of resistance to that. So what we wanted to do was to create a survey that was non-threatening. You know, in other words, if you fill this out, it takes you 10 to 15 seconds, maybe 20 seconds to do it. We don't want to know none of your personal information. We want to do it, you know. So what we did was, when we looked at that, one of the challenges that we may get as a group doing a survey, someone may ask us, well, are these people real that you surveyed? And what we'll do, we'll name the masajids, you know, the cities. We'll name the events that we attend and those type of things. And then personally, I will tell them, if you doubt me, then you go around the country and you check yourself. You see, but that's an argument that's going to come up. But what we have to realize is that every day we listen to the news and we listen to surveys, and they don't tell us how many people they surveyed. They tell us, we did a national survey, and we found out that African Americans will not support Obama for the presidency of the United States. Right. Then they come back and they say, we did a national survey, and we found out that women will not support Obama for the survey. And I'm just making all this up, not that this happened, okay? Then they come back and they say, we did a national survey and we found that white men won't support Obama for a survey, for the presidency. And none of that proved to be anything. They didn't prove out. So in looking at past surveys, looking at the experience that we have with surveys, looking at the things that make people fill them out, make people get interested in it, we chose not to put that personal information on it, because it's something, also another thing, there's a liability involved also. You know, I used to go to flea markets quite a bit, and they would have these surveys you fill out, just give them some information, and they may give you a free soda or something like that. Just a little simple information. I couldn't stop the people calling my house trying to sell things. So we don't want to go that route. But that's an excellent question to ask, and thank you for it. But that's basically why we don't want to do it, is because we don't want it to be threatening. We want it to be something that you're comfortable with, you see it, and then inshallah, come around July or August, we are going to produce the results. And the reason we say that, we're going to end the survey on May 31st. We're going to look at all our data in June. And then in July, we're going to produce something. And we're doing it, you know, there's a survey function called Monkey Survey. Right. And that's what they call it. And we're utilizing Monkey Survey. Survey Monkey, I'm sorry.
Survey Monkey, right.
Okay, Survey Monkey.
Close.
Okay, thank you very much. Survey Monkey. I'm sorry, but we're using Survey Monkey. So, Monkey Survey Monkey, same thing. But you know, we're utilizing that, and then when we go in, like I said, we'll define what our methods were for gathering information, and we'll present that, and we'll make some presumptions in that. You know, which is what they do when they go in, you know, that type of thing. And then we have to be very, very careful. I remember when I was in college, I took a class, and it was a class on women, the sociology of women. And they had a study, and they studied the sexuality of women in this study. So they came out and they said, in this study, and this professor happened to be an African-American professor, made this seem as a difficult fact. And they were talking about the preference. And the study came out, in the preference for these women that they studied, they didn't favor men. You see, they favored themselves. And so me being who I was in the community I belonged to, my hand went up. I said, well, who did you survey? Well, this is national. I said, no. Who did you survey? And the professor got mad at me, but I couldn't accept that because it didn't make any sense to me, you know, from what I believed in. So when you do surveys, you have to be very, very careful what you're doing, how you present your information, and very, very careful about the information that you take in. The sister in the yellow before we come to you. Yes, sir. Okay. There was another brother back in the back, and then we'll go to you, sister, and we'll come back up here. Well, did you have a question?
Basically, you touched bases on as far as the personal information, and also if the information get compromised, you have to let everybody know about it.
Yes. Yes.
I want that.
Yes. Sister, then we'll come.
I want to know.
Do you mind standing up, please, so we can hear the question? Please, ma'am. Thank you.
I want to know, do you have any more of the 2012 platform books that came late? I'm sorry.
Yes.
But also the Muslim agenda. What would make our agenda and our concerns different from living within communities? And us not, we have not, I say, in our neighborhoods, our local agenda thinking. And on a national level, what would make our concerns different than
that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna give this to you now. Yes, sir, I'm gonna give this to Madam Bashir. Okay.
Assalamualaikum. One of the things we hope to do this year, sister, is have a national discussion in terms of a national agenda for our community. But your point is very, very valid. There are local communities with local issues. There are regional communities with regional issues. And we have a national consciousness as a group of people in the Association of Imam for common purpose and a common agenda. We need to identify what that is. So inshallah, in the Midwest, we're having a discussion. We're trying to convene a number of people in 5 areas of critical importance: development for imams, the area of government, the area of education, the area of business and economic development, and the area of culture. We think those are 5 critical areas for community development. Inshallah, we also want to have that at the national level as well. So we're beginning that discussion. We're trying to convene it. I know in the Midwest we're doing it. We're going to promote that throughout the country, and then we're going to have a national discussion as well, inshallah. So yes, those are critical areas. The Imam identified those as critical areas for our development. We need to have plans in place in all 5 of those critical areas.
Let me just add this. I think all of us are here, we recognize that we inherit a very rich legacy that goes back many, many years, 80 years at least.
That's right.
And with that, there was a vision for us being a very distinct community based upon our African American experience, but also upon our Islamic heritage. And so the effort of Imam Bashir is to continue that legacy. But the only thing we're trying to do is to recognize that the vision has to be shaped based upon the circumstances that we're in today. And so, as Imam Bashir will tell you, based upon the work that he does, we're in a data-driven society. You know, people, every time you go to the store and buy something and use one of those cards that identifies you as a shopper, they're categorizing information about you. Every time you go on the internet, you know, if you know what cookies are, they're tracking what you do. And so what we're doing as a community is updating our vision based upon the circumstances that we're in today. And I applaud Imam Bashir for getting together the national leadership, because we don't want to lose the distinct characteristics that we have as a community, because we would be doing a disservice to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad established and what Imam Muhammad established. They didn't want us to dissipate into just being Muslims, or to just dissipate into the NAACP. You know, the point is for us to maintain the distinct heritage that we have and our distinct experience, but move it forward to the circumstances that we're in today, and bring forward the best that we have of that tradition. Because I want my grandchildren to remember that their granddaddy went back to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He was in the Nation of Islam. And we're taking that vision forward into the future, because we will never be Pakistanis. We'll never be Sudanese, Senegalese. You know, we are distinct people. Imam Muhammad said that. We are distinct new people. And so all we're doing is using the technology of today to move the vision forward. So our ancestors will be pleased and say, those are our people. They took the best of what we had and they're moving it forward into the future.